जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंदे। Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, the first step in God realization. Today we will see text 25. Before getting into the text, we will chant the auspicious invocation prayers. I will chant, please try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam Sukamukātamrita dravasamyutam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam Mughraho rasika bhuibhavkaha Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣayosau vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin āvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ-puruṣoyosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ āṇḍa-kośe śarīresmin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ puruṣo yosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ aṇḍa-kośe śarīre smin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ puruṣo yosau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ aṇḍa-kośe within the universal cell, śarīre in the body of, asmin thus, sapta sevenfold, āvaraṇa coverings, saṁyute having so done, vairājaḥ the gigantic universal form, puruṣaḥ form of the Lord, yaḥ that, asau he, bhagavān the personality of Godhead, dhāraṇā conception, āśrayaḥ object of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Translation, please repeat. The gigantic universal form of the personality of Godhead within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by sevenfold material elements, is the subject for virāṭ conception. Purport. Simultaneously, the Lord has multifarious other forms, and all of them are identical with the original fountainhead form of the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. In Bhagavad-gītā, it has been proven that the original, transcendental and eternal form of the Lord is Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the Absolute Personality of Godhead. But by His inconceivable internal potency, ātma-māyā, He can expand Himself by multivarious forms and incarnations simultaneously without being diminished in His full potency. He is complete, and although innumerable complete forms emanate from Him, He is still complete without any loss. That is His spiritual or internal potency. In the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, the personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, manifested His virāṭ-rūpa just to convince the less intelligent class of men who cannot conceive of the Lord as appearing just like a human being, that He factually has the potency of His claim to be the supreme absolute person without any rival or superior. Materialistic men can think, although very imperfectly, of the huge universal space comprehending an innumerable number of planets as big as the sun. They can see only the circular sky overhead without any information that this universe, as well as many other hundreds of thousands of universes, are each covered by sevenfold material coverings of water, fire, air, sky, ego, noumenon, and material nature. Just like a huge football, pumped and covered, floating on the water of the Causal Ocean, wherein the Lord is lying as Mahā-Viṣṇu. All the universes in seed are emanating from the breathing of the Mahā-Viṣṇu, who is but a partial expansion of the Lord. And all the universes preside over by the Brahmas vanish when the Mahā-Viṣṇu withdraws his great breath. In this way, the material worlds are being created and vanished by the supreme will of the Lord. The poor, foolish materialist can just imagine how ignorantly he put forward an insignificant creature to become his rival incarnation simply on the allegations of a dying man. The virāṭ-rūpa was particularly exhibited by the Lord just to give lessons to such foolish men, so that one can accept a person as the incarnation of Godhead only if such a person is able to exhibit such a virāṭ-rūpa as Lord Kṛṣṇa did. The materialistic person may concentrate his mind upon the virāṭ or gigantic form of the Lord in his own interest and as recommended by Śukadeva Gosvāmī. But he must be on his guard not to be misled by pretenders who claim to be identical person as Lord Kṛṣṇa and are not able to act like him or exhibit virāṭ-rūpa, comprehending the whole of the universe. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschaittya Deshatarine Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Jayapata Gosvāmī Namine Namacharya Padayane Taikripa Padayane Gaurakatadamadaya Nagaragramataline Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayate Grimit Kupatmaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Pritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Umavitam. Hare Krishna. So, ānḍa-kośe sarīre smin saptāvaraṇa-saṁyute vairājaḥ puruṣo asau bhagavān dhāraṇāśrayaḥ. The gigantic universal form of the personality of Godhead within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by the sevenfold material elements, is the subject of the virāṭ conception. In this chapter, which is titled The First Step in God Realization, a very significant question has been put forward by Parikshit Maharaj. In the previous verses, he has made a very important question. Yata sandharyate brahman dhāraṇā yatra sammata yādrishiva haret asau puruṣasya manomalam. This is text number 22. The fortunate king Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in the person's mind can be removed. It's a very significant question, because the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the cause of all the troubles which the jiva goes through is simply these dirty things in the mind of the jiva. So what is this dirty thing in the mind of the jiva? This is very important to understand. The dirty thing in the mind of the jiva, as this was explained very nicely yesterday by Ganga Prabhu in his class, is this idea that I am the enjoyer, I am the Lord of all I survey. Or it may be the frustration. Why I am not the enjoyer? Why I am not the Lord of all I survey? Why can't I be? Why my neighbor is having more money than me? He seems to be having a better car. He seems to be having a more lovely wife. He seems to have more intelligent children. And everything which is not so intelligent, not so nice, seems to be coming to me. Why I am not the enjoyer? So, this is the two sides of the same coin. Whether we think that I am the enjoyer or whether we are frustrated that I am not the enjoyer, both of them are coming from enjoying mentality. This is the dirty thing in the heart. That everything either belongs to me or everything should belong to me. By mistake, it belongs to somebody else. If there is a God, He doesn't know what He is doing. He is supposed to give everything to me. That is why He is God. Like Arjuna, in the beginning of Bhagavad-gītā, he is telling Krishna what God should do. Mr. God, you don't know what you are supposed to do. You are not supposed to make me fight. Will you fight with your relatives? Why are you asking me to fight with my relatives? Why are you God? You arrange everything. You make everything nice so that there is no fighting, there is no blood, only enjoyment. We can all enjoy together. Why you want us to fight? You are not very intelligent. Listen to me. This is the idea. Even if we want to accept God, we want, Prabhupada very nicely says, we want God to be our order supplier. That we want to make order. And then we want God to supply our order. We want God to be our order supplier. So this is the dirty thing in the heart. That everything is meant for my enjoyment. If there is a God who is existing, if He is existing, let Him exist. I give Him permission. Let Him exist. But He should exist only for my enjoyment, not for anything else. This is the dirty thing in the heart. So, if we have to give up this dirty thing in the heart, then the first thing we should understand is that I may be the enjoyer, but I am not an independent enjoyer. My enjoyment is dependent on the Lord, who has made this cosmic manifestation possible. Everything in this cosmic manifestation possible, including my body and my senses, which I consider as the vehicle for enjoyment. This is the first step in God realization. So therefore, the meditation on the virāṭ form, it becomes very important. And in Bhagavatam, this virāṭ form, it keeps coming, doesn't leave us. In second canto of Bhagavatam itself, if you continuously follow, you will find that there are 3 descriptions of the virāṭ form. And then you get into third canto, there are 2 more descriptions of the virāṭ form. So total there are 5 descriptions of the virāṭ form. And one may wonder that why this virāṭ form, which devotees are anyway not interested. Prabhupada says that devotees are not interested in this virāṭ form. What is this virāṭ form? It's so big, so ghastly. Sahasra shirasa puruṣaḥ, sahasrakṣas, sahasrapāt, sabhūmim vishvato vritva, atyatishtat dasangulam. It's very, very ghastly to imagine thousands and thousands of heads, thousands and thousands of hands, thousands and thousands of legs. Not so nice. But we have Krishna's form. Venam kunantam aravinda dalaya daksham barhavatamsam asitambuda sundarangam kandharpa koti gamaniya vishesha shobham govindam adipuruṣam tamaham bhajami. Why Bhagavatam is not focusing on this form, so beautiful form, that Krishna's form, which is having flute, which is adorned by peacock feather, very nicely dressed, which is bent in 3 places, which is so attractive that thousands of cupids will simply fall for him. Why not meditate on that form? Why meditate on this virāṭ form? That too 5 times. But it's very important to understand that why we have to meditate on this virāṭ form. Because this material world is what we have. we have read about spiritual world, some of us have not read about spiritual world. But what we have is this material world. And we are seeing this material world. Every day we get up, we see this material world. There are buildings, there are plants, there are trees, there are animals, there are human beings. I am there, my body is there. Then there are relatives of my body. Deha kalatradishu, ātma-sanyeshu, asatsapi, everybody is there. Father, mother, son, daughter, goda, gadi. So many things are there. I am seeing this, I am experiencing this. So first of all, I should know whatever I am seeing, whatever I am experiencing, where it came from. Who is the source of this? First of all, it is very important to know this. If the Supreme Lord is the cause and the cosmic manifestation is the effect, then the cause can be found in the effect. This is simple theory. Even modern science agrees. Cause and effect, everybody is studying. So everybody is studying cause and effect. So everybody agrees that the cause can be found within the effect. Like for example, hydrogen and oxygen is the cause and water is the effect. So if you are able to split water, you will be able to get hydrogen and oxygen. So the cause can be found within the effect. It's not some very high philosophy or something like that. So therefore, the virāṭ-rūpa is actually pointing us to the cause within the effect. The effect is the cosmic manifestation. The cause is the virāṭ-rūpa. He is the bhagavān. He is the Supreme Lord. Here, Prabhupada says in the purport that the Lord has multifarious incarnations. Ramādi mūrtishu kalā niyamena tishtan nānāvataram akaror bhuvaneshu kintu Kṛṣṇa swayam samabhavat paramapumanyo govindam ādi-puruṣam tamaham bhajāmi. This Kṛṣṇa swayam, he is Paramapuman, he is the greatest person, and he has many incarnations. And one of these manifestation is the virāṭ. And this virāṭ manifestation is very important because as we will study that in the first manifestation of the virāṭ, we will see the entire cosmic manifestation as the part and parcel of the body of the virāṭ. Like for example, the sky, the clouds in the sky, this is the hair on the head of the virāṭ-rūpa. The plants and trees, these are hairs on the body of the virāṭ-rūpa. The mountains, they are the bones of the virāṭ-rūpa. The veins, they are the rivers of the virāṭ-rūpa. So like that, we will see the whole cosmic manifestation. Whatever we will see as the bodily part of the virāṭ-rūpa. Why to see like this? It's very important to see like this for two reasons. One reason is to, first of all, we have to accept that God is a person. Like I have hair in the head, I have hair on the body, I have bones, I have vein, I have everything. The Lord also has everything. He also has a body. But his body is different from my body. My body is very small compared to this whole cosmic manifestation. His body is so large that the whole cosmic manifestation forms his body. The first conception of I am Anu and he is Vibhu comes from this virāṭ conception. That I am limited, he is unlimited comes from this virāṭ conception. That he is a person, but he is an unlimited person. I am limited person. That's the first thing. Second thing in this virāṭ, the first virāṭ, the second lesson we get from the first virāṭ is that I am dependent on him for my supplies. I am dependent on him for my supplies. It's not that I am independent, I can independently enjoy these supplies. I am getting vegetable, I am getting fruits, I am getting so many items, I am getting grains. Where it is coming from? It is coming from the bodily hair of the Lord. Because all these plants, trees, herbs, everything, they belong to the bodily hair of the Lord. So I am simply dependent on nourishing this body on the bodily hair of the Lord. Whatever comes from nourishing this body. The nourishment of the body, annāt bhavanti bhutani, parjanyāt anna sambhavaha, yajñāt bhavati parjanyo, yajña karma samudbhavam. Where did Anna come from? Anna came from the bodily hair of the Lord. Where did rain come from? Rain came from the hair on the head of the Lord. It did not come from nowhere. It came from the hair on the head of the Lord. These are the clouds. That's where the rain came from. So what is my duty? My duty is to offer it back in yajna. Yajñārtat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. So my duty is to offer it back. If I don't offer it back, I become thief. If I don't recognize, I become thief. Like somebody has a garden in Mayapur, so many devotees have small, small gardens in front of their house. Somebody has a garden and he is making vegetables in the garden and the vegetables are looking so nice and fresh. If you want to go and pluck, you should take his permission. You should take his permission. Prabhuji, can I pluck these vegetables? Or Mataji, can I have a little bit of these vegetables? Yeah, you take it. Then you can take it. So, same way, everything which is growing is simply growing from the bodily hair of the Lord. And you think this apple is mine. I can eat it. I don't have a problem. No, you become thief. So to pluck it, you require permission. To use it, you require permission. You need to show gratitude. We need to have some gratitude. So this is what is the conception of the first virāṭ-rūpa. Simply shows that everything comes from the Lord's body. The supply comes from the Lord's body. Better be careful when you are using this supply. You are using the Lord's supply. Better be careful. You take permission, give it back. Don't try to enjoy, thinking that, oh, nothing, let me enjoy. Don't do like that. The second virāṭ conception specifically shows that Lord is the origin of everything. You'll see when you read the second virāṭ conception. It will show that the Lord is the origin of everything. He is not only the possessor of everything, He is also the origin of everything. Everything comes from Him. If He is not there, the cosmic manifestation is not there. We are so proud. Oh, I am great man. I have so much intelligence. I am this, I am that. I am so. Or we are so unhappy. I am not great man. I am this, I am that. Whatever it is. But the conception of being independent from Kṛṣṇa, how did the conditioned soul get it? When we study the second virāṭ, we understand that the conception of being independent from Kṛṣṇa also came from Kṛṣṇa only. We are so dependent on Kṛṣṇa, that even to forget Kṛṣṇa, we need Kṛṣṇa. It's not that we can independently forget of Kṛṣṇa. Hey Kṛṣṇa, I am going to forget you. Okay, how will you forget me? I am going to forget you. Okay, how will you forget me? Okay, let me make some arrangement for you to forget me. So that also Kṛṣṇa only has to make. It's not that I want to forget Kṛṣṇa and immediately I can forget Kṛṣṇa. No. Kṛṣṇa has to make a complicated arrangement, and that arrangement is called this cosmic manifestation. And when we study the second virāṭ, we will see how everything originated, how this complicated arrangement originated from Kṛṣṇa, by which the jiva can actually have the facility to forget Kṛṣṇa. So even in the matter of forgetting Kṛṣṇa, we are dependent on Kṛṣṇa. That is our situation. And we are thinking we are great. Krishna Prabhupada is saying in the purport, on the allegation of a dying man, we are claiming that we are God. Somebody says, I am God. I can do some magic. In India, there are many people who claim to be God and who can do some magic. They can do some magic. They can bring some linga from their throat. What linga? Take it. Oh, he is God. He can vomit a linga. So many fake people are there in India. Every street, sometime you can find one God. India is full of gods. God's own country. Why? Because everybody is thinking they are God. Stupid people. And then there are followers of these people also. In South India, one fellow, he claimed to be Kalki. He said, I am Kalki Bhagavān. And then he has his wife. He is saying, he is Kalki Bhagavati. and now you guys follow me. The crazy people also follow. So, the point is that we should have clear conception of God. What is He? Who is God? What He can do? That is why we have to study this virāṭ-rūpa. Gives clear conception of God. The third conception of virāṭ-rūpa, the third description of virāṭ-rūpa is somewhere there in the 9th chapter, in the 10th chapter of second canto. Second description of virāṭ-rūpa is in the 6th chapter. So, in that third description, we find that the entire cosmic manifestation simply came as the desire of the Lord. So, therefore, the living entity, for him to fulfill his desire, he is dependent on the Lord's desire. Unless the Lord allows the living entity to fulfill his desire, the living entity does not have any facility to fulfill his desire. In Upanishad it is said, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. That one person, he is actually arranging for everyone's desire to be fulfilled. In Isha Upanishad it is said, Tad dhavato anyan atyeti tishta tasmin apo matarishtu dadati. That he is giving the rain, he is giving the air, he is giving the water, he is supplying everything. He is the supplier. He is the supplier. So, by studying the third virāṭ-rūpa, we understand that we are dependent on him for fulfilling our desires. And then there is the fourth virāṭ-rūpa that is there in the third canto. It is coming somewhere in the sixth chapter, in the seventh chapter. No, sixth chapter. Third canto, sixth chapter. There is the third description of virāṭ-rūpa. Fourth description of virāṭ-rūpa. So, first is this, which we are going to study. Second is in the sixth chapter. Third is in the 10th chapter. The fourth description is somewhere in the sixth chapter of the third canto. And that virāṭ-rūpa, it proves a technical point. What is the point? That even though nature has many elements, those elements cannot combine to form the cosmic manifestation unless the Lord intervenes. Unless the Lord intervenes. Without the intervention of the Lord, combination of elements in nature is not possible. It looks very technical, but it's very simple. Very, very simple point. Like you want to make some nice dish for Krishna, the dishes are there, like the sabji is there, the spices are there, the oil is there, the water is there, the fire is there, everything is there. All the elements are there. But unless there is a devotee who comes and combines all of them and cooks them into a sabji, sabji is not going to form on its own. That the sabji is not going to jump into the kadai, and the oil is not going to pour itself into the kadai, and the fire is not going to light by itself, and blah, 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 sabji is not going to form. Like our great scientists think. That there was some bang, and after that everything came. And suddenly, from the monkey, man came. Scientists are thinking like that. Yes, sir, can you please make one sabji with a big bang? If you cannot make one sabji with a big bang, you think the whole cosmic manifestation came from the big bang? It's a very important point. That unless there is intelligent intervention to combine the elements are not going to combine. The elements are not going to combine. That is subject matter of the study of the fourth virāṭ-rūpa. And then there is a fifth virāṭ-rūpa in Kapila Siksha. In third canto, there is a fifth description of virāṭ-rūpa. And that description of virāṭ-rūpa, it also brings up another technical point. What is the technical point? That unless the Lord invigilates the nature as supreme consciousness, the individual consciousness itself cannot achieve anything. We are thinking that I am the achiever, I am the enjoyer, I am this, I am that. But unless the Lord helps us, unless the Lord enters the cosmic manifestation, unless the Lord gives his energy, nothing is going to animate. Nothing is going to animate. Nothing is going to happen. So, in that description, the virāṭ-rūpa is considered as sleeping. Virāṭ-rūpa is sleeping. Different demigods are entering the virāṭ-rūpa. Ting, ting, tang, tang, tung, tung. Different places, different demigods are entering. But still the virāṭ-rūpa doesn't wake up. The virāṭ-rūpa wakes up when the Lord enters the virāṭ-rūpa as the supreme consciousness. Then he wakes up. Then he becomes very active. So that's the fifth description of virāṭ-rūpa. So every description of virāṭ-rūpa in Bhagavatam, it has a very important subject matter to study. And it has a very important subject matter to understand. So that's why, therefore, before going and seeing this wonderful attractive form of Krishna in the 10th canto, we have to very carefully study all the 9 cantos, where we can understand that this person, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is just having the human form, Manusham Tanumashratam, he has a human form, he is not such a simple person. He looks like a cowherd boy, and then he is going and playing. He becomes 6 years old. Then all the elderly Gopas, they make a conference. Okay, now Krishna has become 6 years old. Previously he was just tending calves. Now we can give cows for him. And then we are thinking, Krishna has become 6 years old. Now he can take care of cows. No, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is taking care of the entire cosmic manifestation simply by an insignificant part of his expansion, of his expansion, of his expansion. Ekamshena stito jagat. He is saying, Ekamshena stito jagat. This cosmic, the yogis are thinking that controlling the material nature is everything. The highest siddhi of yoga siddhi is called prakamya siddhi, that they can actually go against the material nature. And they can make some planet, they can make this, they can make that. They think, oh, now I have all this siddhi, I became God. Krishna is laughing at them. Guys, you don't know what is God. You want to know what is God? Let me tell you that this entire cosmic manifestation, this material nature, all these things, I control by an insignificant part of my opulence. Ekam shenastito jagat. This is not the complete description of what is God. What the yogis are thinking, that I have now Ashtamaha Siddhi, I have become God. No, you cannot become God. Nobody can become God. God is already God. You can become servant of God. You can become servant of God. So, the entire description of the virāṭ-rūpa is there in one sense to put us in place. Like Prabhupada explains, the jiva has to understand his place. The conditioned soul, he is not in his place. He is thinking that I am a great man. He is not in his place. Sometimes he thinks so much that, oh, there is no God. Or sometimes he is thinking that, oh, I am God. So the virāṭ-rūpa is there to put us in place. My dear sir, you please understand, this is your place. Go and sit there. Don't talk too much. Study the virāṭ-rūpa. This is the first step in God realization. That when we study the virāṭ-rūpa, when we understand how great is God, then naturally we understand how insignificant I am. All of us are thinking that we are some significant person. I am very significant. I am this, I am that. No, we are very insignificant. Very insignificant. Prabhupada says that all of us are like 0 and Krishna is like 1. When we put that 1 in front of that 0, then there is some value. When there is no 1 in front of the 0, there is no value. We can put so many zeros. We can put 1,000 zeros. We can put all the 1,000 zeros, but these zeros have no value if there is no 1. So if we don't add Krishna to our vision of this cosmic manifestation, if we simply see this cosmic manifestation as independent from Krishna, if we see that, go to Ganga, Ganga is meant for my enjoyment, she is flowing for my enjoyment, let me go jump and have a nice time. You see the trees and fruits, oh, these are all meant for my enjoyment, let me enjoy, let me have a nice time. As long as we try to see this cosmic manifestation as something different from Krishna, then our vision is defective. And that defective vision forms the dirty thing in the heart. Puruṣasya manomalam. Purusha means the enjoyer. He wants to enjoy. He thinks I am the enjoyer. And that idea of enjoyment comes from seeing this cosmic manifestation as something independent of Krishna. That's why the scientists are so much trying. They're spending billions of dollars just to prove that this creation doesn't require God. Because the moment they accept this creation is done by God, immediately they have to accept whatever God says. Manmanabhava madbhakto matyaji mam namaskuru. Immediately they have to leave everything, all their scientist business, and chant Hare Krishna. They have to close all their science lab and then chant Hare Krishna. They are so afraid of accepting God, because immediately they have to accept the order of God. Immediately they have to accept that there is some purpose for creation. So the scientists, the Mayavadis, the materialists, all of them simply trying, Sankyavadis, so many different people, different philosophers, all of them are simply trying to prove that this cosmic manifestation is meaningless. Because it is meaningless, so therefore, whatever you do with it is okay. Therefore, the descriptions of the Virat very systematically defeats the different philosophies also. For example, the first Virat description, it actually defeats Mayavada philosophy, that the Lord is not a person. It actually shows that Lord is a person. He has hands, he has legs, he has eyes, he has nose, he has genitals, he has everything. But he is a different type of person than what we are. It's a different type of person than what we are. He's not like us. Even though he's a person, but he's not like us. So the first Virat actually defeats the idea of Mayavad. The second Virat defeats the idea of the Mimamsavadis. The Mimamsavadis are thinking that I can simply fulfill my desire from this independent source of material nature by doing the right thing. I just do pious activity. This material nature is something like a source from which I can draw the effect of my pious activity. I don't require God. The second Virat clearly shows that unless the Lord desires, the living entity cannot fulfill his desire. So, like that, by studying this virāṭ-rūpa very deeply, by going through Prabhupada's purports of these descriptions of virāṭ-rūpa very seriously, we should not think, oh, Virāṭ, the second canto, third canto, we should not think like that. Very seriously we should go through these purports, because sometimes I have seen that devotees, when they study second canto and third canto, they think that, oh, so much philosophy, quickly go through it. But that philosophy is required if you want to appreciate Krishna's love. If you don't understand that Krishna is supplying everything to you, how you are going to even love him? That to develop that love for Krishna, first of all, we need to understand that he is the maintainer. The moment you understand that Krishna is maintaining me, even though I don't accept his existence, then you can start thinking what type of lover he is. Because any lover in this material world will maintain you as long as you love him. He will not maintain you the moment you say, oh, you don't exist, you don't have hands, you don't have legs, you don't have hair, you don't have body, you have nothing, you don't exist. He will not love you. Oh, I don't exist, my love also doesn't exist. Go to hell, he will not love you. But Krishna is not like that. We are telling Krishna, oh Krishna, you don't exist, you don't have hands, you don't have legs, you don't have this, you don't have that. But Krishna still loves us. He still maintains us. He gives us the intelligence to misinterpret the scripture and write big, big philosophy. What kind of love is this? So study of second canto and study of third canto, especially the study of the virāṭ-rūpa, which is given in second canto and third canto, can actually make us understand what type of lover Krishna is. This is the basis of understanding rasa. So therefore, these virāṭ-rūpa or descriptions of virāṭ-rūpa, they should be very carefully studied. Very, very carefully studied. If at all, if you are thinking that at least to the extent of what we can understand, we want to understand what type of lover Krishna is, then we should study virāṭ-rūpa. Because every description of virāṭ-rūpa has this secret of opening up what type of lover Krishna is. So, the description of virāṭ-rūpa in Bhagavatam is a description of Krishna's love. It is a description of Krishna's love specifically for you and me, because we are here. We are in this cosmic manifestation. We are taking advantage of this cosmic manifestation. We are dependent on this cosmic manifestation. So if we carefully study the virāṭ-rūpa, if we carefully study that how the Lord has expanded himself into the cosmic manifestation, and how the Lord, after expanding and giving all the facilities of the cosmic manifestation, keeps coming back into the same cosmic manifestation as various incarnations, simply to show his activities and attract us back to the spiritual world, then at some point we can actually start appreciating what type of lover Krishna is. And that is the essential matter of 10th canto, that what type of lover Krishna is. So therefore, if at all, if we think that we should understand the subject matter of 10th canto, we should very deeply try to understand the subject matter which is explained in the second canto and the third canto, which are the first few steps in God realization. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, some comments, questions? That's right.
Enlightenment is about what type of lover study the virāṭ-rūpa. By Guru, he did not even able to read Bhagavad-gītā and he got embraced. So why to study all this complicated? I will just follow the main thing, become Guru, preach, deliver the whole world. So why to take so much of trouble for this thing?
So it's true that why I cannot just follow the footsteps of South Indian Brahmana and why we should study all these things. Is possible. We can follow the footsteps of South Indian Brahmana, but for that, Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction, in Nectar of Devotion, that we should learn this small art of crying for Krishna. Okay. He says we should learn this small technique in Nectar of Devotion. Prabhupada writes, we should learn this small technique of crying for Krishna. So spontaneously, by seeing the deity, if you are able to cry for Krishna, then no need. Fine, we can cry. We don't have to go through this study of virāṭ-rūpa and study of Bhagavatam and everything. If that cry is genuinely coming from the heart, simply by seeing the deity, Mahaprabhu is saying that yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravrashayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. That when we actually feel that separation from Krishna, that what am I doing here? I should be with Krishna, I should be there. what am I doing here? I'm just simply wasting my time here. And if that thought of not being with Krishna makes us cry, then we don't require all these things. But if you are still thinking that why the feast is not having ice cream, and why the paneer is just got finished just before me, why I didn't get the second gulab jamun in the feast, then better study virāṭ-rūpa. Mataji.
Thank you very much. Very technical subject matter you explained so nicely. If you don't mind, I came late. I'm so sorry. Could you summarize the last three, 4, 5? And I was wondering, Mother Jasoda's Krishna showed Mother Jasoda. That was a different one altogether. And according to scientific studies, that's called like a fractal theory. You know, where Jasoda sees herself in the mouth, then within that she sees more of herself. So it repeats itself. So that's called the fractal theory scientifically. So that's another form of virāṭ-rūpa.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
So
Okay.
can you summarize the last 3?
Okay. Any other question, comment? Yes.
Hare Krishna. I was wondering why in the Chaitanya Bhagavat we have that coronation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Advaita Acharya, the Abhishek, and they chant the puruṣa prayer. I was finding that totally out of place because it's related to that virāṭ-rūpa. Why is that? Do you have some comments?
Yeah, whenever we do Abhishek of the Lord, we actually chant the puruṣa prayers. Not only that's a standard system in deity worship, that whenever the Lord is being bathed, then we stand the puruṣa prayers. Because the puruṣa prayers are an acknowledgement of the Lord's love in manifesting the cosmic manifestation for the jiva. That's the essence of the puruṣa prayers. Ishtam manishana, amum manishana, sarvam manishana. That's how the prayer ends. So that Lord is the fulfiller of all the desires of the jiva. The jiva may have different type of desires. He may have theistic desires, atheistic desires, that desire, this desire. Whatever is the desire the jiva is having, ultimately the Lord is actually fulfilling all the desires as the Purusha. And the whole Puruṣa Sukta is actually an elaborate description of how the Lord actually fulfills the desires of the jiva. The medium by which the Lord fulfills the desires of the jiva is the cosmic manifestation. And so this cosmic manifestation is actually has only one message. Like the message of the cosmic manifestation is very beautiful and is very simple. The message of the cosmic manifestation is Krishna's love. In everything in cosmic manifestation, Krishna has simply written one message. What is that message? The message is, I love you even if you don't love me. That's the message. So the chanting of the Puruṣa Sukta is acknowledgement of Krishna's love. And it is also the acknowledgement of the jiva's understanding of Krishna's love. That finally, I figured out, Krishna, that you love me. So that's acknowledgement of Krishna's love, that we actually accept that Krishna is a lover. That's his description. He has many descriptions. He is God, he is this, he is that. He has many descriptions. But the ultimate description of Krishna is a lover. And we are his beloved. And unfortunately, except that, we are focusing on everything else. So study of cosmic manifestation and the chanting of the Puruṣa prayers when we actually bathe the Lord, because bathing is a very intimate service. If you actually see who bathes whom, even in the material world, the mother bathes the child. Yeah? Sometimes the father bathes the child when the child is very small. But when we grow up, then only the lover can bathe the lover. You're a brahmachari, don't think about it. So bathing is a very intimate task. It's not that everybody bathes everybody, right? It's a very, very intimate thing. Bathing someone is a very intimate thing. It's an act of love. So when you bathe the Lord, you actually recognize that you are my lover, I am your lover. And the way to recognize that is to chant the puruṣa mantras. Because that mantra is a complete explanation of how Krishna actually fulfills the conditioned soul and his desires. So, I mean, it looks very ritualistic. It's, especially when it is chanted with all the pomps. Sahasra shīrṣa puruṣaḥ sahasrakṣas sahasrapat sabhumim vishvato vritva atyatishtat dasangulam. So when you keep the meter and when you chant, it looks very ritualistic. That's how it's to be chanted. That's how it's to be done. But when you actually get into the rasa aspect, when you actually see the essence of what is being told, the essence of what is being performed, the essence of what is being done, you simply understand that Krishna is lover. And the chanting of the mantras is simply an acknowledgement of that love. That you are my lover, I am your beloved. Somehow I forgot that. Now I am trying to remember it. Please remember that I am your beloved and you are my lover. That's it. That makes sense? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, virāṭ-rūpa study ki, Gaur Premanande.